This video will highlight the milestones I experienced while building my Factory 5 Racing Roadster. The day the kid arrives is like Christmas morning for an 8-year-old kid. This giant semi-truck shows up full of Factory 5 Cobras, and one of them has your name on it. So a bunch of buddies and I unload all the boxes. There's like 18 or so boxes, and the car, which is screwed to the frame, reel it up your driveway on some dollies, and then you stick it on jack stands, and that smile on my face, you'll see that throughout these videos. So the first big thing you do after the kit arrives is you've got to separate the body from the frame so you can actually start assembly. I built a wooden structure to hold the body up above the frame so that the project wouldn't take up all of my 2.5 car garage. Installing the suspension was really the first wrenches that were turned on the car, and it's very exciting to see the car actually sitting on tires and wheels and being able to be pushed around the garage. The next big step in assembling the Factory 5 Roadster is riveting the aluminum panels to the steel frame. I used about 1,000 rivets to do this, and it was a fun process. We used temporary rivets called clecos to align the panels. The first step, actually drilling the first hole in the first perfectly beautiful piece of aluminum, was really tough. I used 2-inch spacing, but in the end it turned out really well. Installing the motor is a huge milestone in building a Factory 5 Cobra. I used a 351 Windsor out of a 1974, I think it was an Econoline van, and I rebuilt it with Keith Black flat top pistons and pretty much all new parts except for the block and the crank and the rods. Running the fuel and brake lines on the car wasn't the most exciting projects, but once it was finished, it was a nice milestone because then the car could go and stop. Running the wires was a huge project because you have to wire the battery to the alternator, to the fuse box, to behind the dash, all the gauges, all the lights, and it was part art and part science, and had a lot of help from my car building buddies. Starting an engine you built yourself is obviously a giant milestone. Driving the car before the body is on is called go-karting, and it's also a big milestone when you're building a Factory 5 race car.
Stalled it. Yeah, Ellie says.
Putting the body back on the frame is a huge milestone in building the Cobra, because at the end of this step it actually looks like a car. Look at all those beautiful rivets in the trunk of that car. So now it's time to put the doors and the windshield and the lights and the turn signals on the car, and it really looks like a car at this point. Getting it titled and registered means you can then start driving the car, which I did for a whole year before I got it painted. And I went to car shows, I did a couple of autocrosses, and had a great time with the car. I went with a pepper gray metallic with black metallic stripes for the paint. That is the Eleanor colors from the movie Gone in 60 Seconds. The paint has a lot of metal flake in it, so it really picks up and reflects the sky. So if it's overcast with a lot of clouds, it's a different color than if it's a deep blue sky. Then if it's sort of right before dusk, it looks almost black, and it's a really beautiful color. Thanks for watching my video on car building milestones, and also thanks for all my car building buddies from the car club for helping out.